There we go. Sorry about that. Gideon, I know you're here. If you just pop up your head again, I can add you in. Happy 52 weeks. Hi. Hi, Julie. Hi, Sarah. All right, Gideon. Hello, studio. Hello, Paloma. All right, Gideon. Gideon, my love. Come on, man. Let's do this. All right, Gideon. So while I wait for Gideon... Hey, Valerie. Hi, Mommy. While I wait for Gideon to join us, I will tell you, you probably can notice... Oh, there he is. I'm going to go live with Gideon. I am in my apartment just for... I was here last night, and then we're going in. Hello, Gideon.
Hi. Did this hear me?
Hi, how are you? I'm calling you
Good. How are
from the
you?
city.
Me, I'm in
I just had the greatest bath of my life. And then, what?
I'm in my office in the city. Don't tell anybody.
I won't tell
Can
anybody.
you
It
hear
looks
me?
really nice. Can you let us see it? Is that okay to ask?
Is that what?
Is it okay to ask you to show us your digs, your office?
I mean, it's a little bit of a mess, but this is our little scheming room.
That's a mess.
I
I
mean, not really.
I hardly know what to say.
No, nobody's working but me.
Right. No, you're fine.
Can you hear me
Mm,
okay?
yeah, I can. It is so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. How are the kids?
They're good. They're in the
Now you
Hamptons.
have three or two
Three. A 9-year-old and
twins and a
twins that are
third.
7. Yeah. The twins are 7 and
Okay,
my
I've
older is
got the
9.
reverse. My older guys are twins,
Right. How old are they?
13. But I remember when we were, and my daughter's 11, I remember when we were doing Kips Bay, this was, we were talking about our babies.
I know. It's
It's been a
crazy.
while, right?
And now they're torturing each other in the Hamptons. And how are you holding up with the school and
Um,
everything?
yeah, I have two of them with me right now. Um, my husband and I love each other, but we want to kill everybody else. How about you?
We're on the verge. I'm very happy to be here in the city by myself.
How long
But
are
it's
you in the city by?
just for the day. I just come in periodically to get some mail and do a couple of things I can't do
Yeah,
out there.
that's exactly what I'm doing. And we don't. We came in. This is the first time my kids have been here since mid-March, and they just came for the plumbing and to order Chipotle, and then we're going back. Anyway,
No, my kids have
so
not been.
I
My
always
kids
love
have.
to
I'm the only
start.
one that's been in the city.
Oh, well,
My
that's good.
family's
That's
all
good.
been in the Hamptons. Yeah, yeah,
Keep
yeah,
them safe.
yeah.
I want to ask you to tell me how you started, because for me, that's always one of the most interesting things about people.
So I don't know if you know this, but my mother was a designer. And it's funny because I have very fond memories of looking at your father's work with my mother. My mother was a big fan of your dad, and
She
we
sounds
on
amazing.
Tuesday she just passed away a few years ago, but she was amazing. And she on Tuesday nights we would watch what was that show with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis? Moonlighting.
Moonlighting.
And then after Moonlighting was 30 something, and I was like a teenager who was in love with everybody on the show 30 something, and we would be
Right.
like flipping through design magazines. This is like the 80s, and
Yeah.
so I learned from my mother. She was a designer for 35 years, um, and
And where did you
we
live?
I grew up in Westchester, and I went to Columbia where I studied architecture. And she retired, and I kind of brought her out of retirement. So we
Really?
worked together for a little while. Yeah, it was great.
That's lovely.
It
But
was.
were you her boss?
No, we were
Did
partners.
she report to you or
You
you to
know,
her?
we it didn't sort of operate that way. I mean, I think I did more of the difficult work, but she was great. She taught me quite a bit. So, you
So
know,
are you a licensed architect?
no, no, I
Okay.
never pursued
Scholar.
that. Never really had any interest in that. Always wanted to work with, in interiors and people.
Yeah, that sounds like if I could do it again, I would maybe go to Columbia and do architecture prior to, because it's so great, such a great program.
Yeah,
So
it was fun.
so tell me about your love for Sean Brock, because I actually
Oh
watched
my
the
God.
Chef's Table episode
Yeah,
one more time because I'm concerned about
yeah,
him in this moment.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm concerned about everybody in this moment.
True.
Um, I love to cook. My I married an Italian Catholic, an Irish Italian Catholic, and my mother-in-law married an Italian, and she always wanted to be an Italian. And I remember when I first went out to they have a summer house out in the Hamptons also, and my mother-in-law, she wasn't my mother-in-law at the time, but my boyfriend's mom made, I would say, 75 meatballs and maybe 30 chicken cutlets for all of these people. My husband is one of five boys,
Uh-huh.
and there are a lot of cousins. And then we bought a house out there, and I said, well, how are we gonna manage entertaining all these people? I have to learn how to cook. I can't have her cooking at my
Right.
house. So I started buying some Ina Garten books and watching some Food Network on TV, and I completely fell in love with food. And I like Sean Brock. I think he's cool. He's got a great story of overcoming some obstacles, some medical issues, some physical issues, and I love his food. I love Southern cooking. I love the honesty of it, and him trying to bring back Appalachian food and all that stuff. But I'm obsessed with Chef's Table. I think I'm sure I've watched every episode.
Oh, I've and a couple times, and the street food spinoff that
Yep,
they did. Have you seen
yep.
that? I mean,
I
that
very
made me
little of it.
cry. I made my
Yeah,
children watch it just to like see what these incredible
yeah,
people are doing on the streets of Vietnam, feeding their
yeah, yeah.
neighbors.
It's
But
great because
do you feel
my
that your
kids are
love of
my kids
cooking?
are very happy watching their shows. What'd you say?
Do you feel that your love of cooking is related to your love of design, just in terms of creativity?
100%. But it's a little different. I mean, I think cooking for me, um, there's a creative component to it. Um, but it's more of an escape for me. Like it's
Mhm.
downtime. I'm, maybe following recipes. I'm listening to music. I'm relaxing. But I think it's similar to design in how powerful it is. And that's what I talk about a lot, like what design can do. And I feel the same way about food. It brings people together.
Mhm.
It makes people happy. It's comforting. It can be comforting. It provides an experience. And I think that's
Which
what's
is
so
the
great about design
perfect
as well.
segue into discussing your design style. So, the first room, as you know, that I saw of yours was at Kips Bay. And that
Hmm.
ladies' lair was so gorgeous with its oak
Thank you.
paneling and its teal suede. Um,
Yeah.
is and it was very kind of French moderne, but it was also timeless. Like it didn't need to be bogged down in a particular moment. Is that your happy place in terms
I
of
think so. I
design,
mean,
like a little European
yeah.
flair, but modern from like 30s, 40s, 50s?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my comfort zone. My mother was a very, very traditional designer, so I
Mhm.
grew up with toile and
Yeah.
chintz and, swags and, that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate all styles, but I think, I'm really moved by 20th century design,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't sort of pigeonhole myself in that, and most of our work is very client driven, but I'm very, very attracted to, mid when I say mid-century modernism, I don't mean
Dutch.
Scandinavian design like everyone, right? I'm more drawn to the French and the Italians and
Mm-hmm.
um, that sort of thing. But yeah,
And what I also loved about your ladies' lair is that it didn't feel, your appreciation or your representation of what a woman would want wasn't necessarily like a feminine. It was,
right,
it was, it could be or it couldn't be. And I,
right,
I
right.
love that. I feel like that style is a more, it tends to convey to me at least masculinity, but the way you did it, it could be anything.
Yeah, it was. I like that tension of the masculine and the feminine. That room had a lot of sort of pushing and pulling of ideas, and I had the idea of a strong woman who was occupying that space. So she had a masculine. She had an edge to her.
Yeah. And was the flood the day before, or was it like 2 days before?
It was the day before, I guess, opening night. It's funny. You wrote about that on Instagram, or you posted something about it. I'm able to block it
You
out. Like
blocked it out.
someone will remind me. Someone will remind me, and then I just don't think about it. That was actually traumatizing for me.
I mean, I think the whole show house, like all the decorators, felt a horrible lurch
Yeah,
of sympathy for it.
that guy is screwed.
Everybody wants to see a picture of that room. Will you post that room on your website so people can go over and look at it?
Sure.
So everybody who's asking to see a picture of that room, it will show up on Gideon Mendelson's. Is it Gideon
Yeah,
Mendelson
it's
Interiors?
it's MendelsonGroupInc.com, but you can look under show houses, and there's some images of it there.
Yeah, but put it on your Instagram too.
Yeah, we will.
So it happened the night before, and it was from upstairs, right?
Yes. There was water in oh God, it's just horrible. I got my heart's racing just thinking about it. I remember the first day touring the house, and I didn't get to choose the room I got to do. They chose it for me,
Sure.
and I walked in, and there was water pouring from the ceiling. On the day, they were like, "Hey, here's your room," and it was this. I don't know if you remember the room, but it was
Of
L-shaped.
course.
It was pretty.
You were right
It was
across the
pretty
hall from
banged.
me.
I know. It was pretty banged up. It was not. It was the worst room to get, and there was water, and they took care of the water. They took care of it, and as you know, in our industry, water is the enemy.
Yeah.
And everything was great. Actually, the whole design process and construction went really well, and I was so pleased with how things were going. Obviously, there's always hiccups in everything we do,
Yeah.
but the night before, I was like styling. I was like putting flowers out, and all of a sudden, I see like a bubble on the ceiling in the room, and I was like, oh my God, this cannot be happening. And there was a closet. I don't know if you remember. There was a closet off of my room that I didn't have to.
On the right.
On the right,
Yeah.
yeah. Like as you walk in, it was to the left, but on the right of the dining table that we had there.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I walked into that room, and I just started to cry by myself, because I literally, I was like, you can't fix this in one day. You've got to solve the water problem. You've got to repair, and you've got to repaint. And
How did you get it done?
I called my painter, and I said, I was crying on the phone, and I said, Tom, you got to come and look at what's going on here. I don't know what to do. It was late in the afternoon, and he was there all night with his guys, and they fixed it. And obviously, a plumber was there too, and they solved the problem. And thank God. It wasn't the best paint job after that, but
On the ceiling.
It was
was
such a relief.
pristine room.
Thank you. It was miraculous that they got it done, because I was ready to
The decorating gods were
call it
smiling
a day.
upon you. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw on my Instagram, but we are trying to do a book of crazy stories. And as
Mm.
Barbara Gates Design, who is on this, just said, we need that story for the book. It's also
Oh,
nice
sure.
to
Yeah.
hear I don't know why it's such a misery loves company thing, but I love hearing when men also cry at disasters,
I
because
cry all the time.
I I at my last kids' day room, there was a day of like horrible crying.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, when you have three children and you're stuck in a house and, everyone's on top of each other, I cry regularly these days. I've never felt, I promise to everyone, I will never complain about the cost of my children's education again.
oh right,
I can't wait for them to go back to school.
but you knew its value anyway. But yeah, what are you going to do with them over the summer? I'm thinking maybe there should be some sort of summer school thing that they should be all doing, just for like a couple
Uh,
hours a week.
yeah, we're thinking about that. A couple of different programs. Um, it's intense.
Oh, you're sort of cutting out right now. Yes, summer school online, Renee. Gideon, you're sort of cutting through. Nope, nope. Well, let me ask you, since you're frozen, I can take advantage of you. Let me ask you, what is the project you're most looking forward to working on when you get back? Oh, hello. Um, do you have Wi-Fi at your office? I said, do you have Wi-Fi at your office?
Huh.
Okay. Okay. What are you looking forward to continuing the minute this is done? Hello. Gideon, yeah, well, I heard the word better, so that alone is good. Now I feel like you're just playing with me. Is everyone else experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing besides love for Gideon? That he's frozen? Yeah. Oh, somebody can't even see you. I can see you, but you're frozen. So anyway, you can hear me. Okay, your Wi-Fi is on. Maybe you should turn your Wi-Fi off.
I just did.
Oh, there you are. Now
Is that?
you're great. Oh my
Uh,
God, I can see you
I.
better than I've been able to see you this whole time.
Oh my God, that's scary. I turned my Wi-Fi off.
Okay, perfect. So, what are you most looking forward to doing? Like, what project are you most looking forward to, or trip, or something design related?
Honestly, I'm just excited to get
Somebody
back
says you're
back
looking
into.
forward to upgrading your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, that's the first thing I'll do. Um, I just want to get back to work. Construction, all of our construction is on hold. And, we've got all these great projects that are sort of stuck. I mean, we're working, we're doing we've got three projects that we're still able to work on, mostly decorating, but,
Yeah,
all of the building isn't happening. And, we do a lot of our architectural design. So I want to be able to, see those projects happening. Um, but yeah, it's just really getting back to work. I miss my team. My team and I, we have a huddle every morning,
how big is your
uh, a
team?
Zoom, a Zoom huddle. There's six of us,
Yeah,
and it's fun, but it's not as fun without all of us here together.
I just bought a bunch of acrylic uh, sneeze guards. I hate that word. It's so gross. It conjures up so much. But I
Yeah,
just
it
bought a
sounds
ton
like
of them, and
babies.
they're waiting for me at the office for when we do open. But yeah, I want to
Whatever
hug
that's
my
gonna be.
friends.
I know. I know that's the best part of our work. People don't realize it. Like, we spend so much time together with our teams, and that's the best part is collaborating.
Totally. Right.
Yeah.
Somebody here says you're looking forward to your first Canadian project. Do tell.
Um, I think I know who said that. We did a project for a client here on the Upper West Side, and he just moved to Vancouver.
Oh, good.
So he better, I guess he better buy it. If he's buying a place, I'm happy to come out.
I think you're going to have to, but the good news is if you do architectural plans, at least you can begin those with even
Yes.
lockdown.
Yes.
What software
Yeah.
do you use? Do you just do CAD?
Yeah. CAD mostly.
Do you do any hand
Yeah.
drawing?
It's funny. I do. I love to sketch. I'm always trying to get everybody in my office to sketch a little more. We do what we call design challenges. Sometimes when
Just in office?
uh, just in the office, yeah, we do what I call a design challenge. If there's I don't know, a furniture plan that we're working on, and there's an unusual room or a room that I think is a little bit difficult to furnish, we'll print out a plan for everybody to sketch on, and everyone will do their own plan, and we'll kind of come together and talk about our ideas and see. It's amazing how everyone
That's
comes
so
up with something
cool.
different.
Why don't we
It's
all do
great.
this? I am totally instituting a design challenge in my office.
Yeah. So it's also a way to just talk about different ideas, and everyone, I grew up watching my mother, you know, meticulously inking on her mylar like furniture layouts,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we studied. When I was with her, we studied furniture layouts, and I loved it. And so it's fun to see how everybody does it differently.
Yeah. Do you
You
start with
know?
your furniture layout? Is that where everything begins?
Yeah, I mean, architecture and design to me, it sort of has to happen at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. It's always frustrating um, when a client sends us another architect's drawings, and I realize very quickly that that architect has not considered any furniture and how it's going to work in this
Yeah.
space. But yeah, I mean, it sort of has to go hand in hand. I think architecture, the furniture layouts, and even the program in general, it all has to kind of happen
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I think that's probably you get the best results that way. But it is
For sure.
fun. Like when this is all finished, I am looking forward to having just a dirty decorating job, as I call them. When it's
Yeah.
just you're just recovering and you're doing pretty curtains and you're painting, and there's
Yeah.
something really satisfying about that because obviously you don't have to wait for it. I mean, you
Right.
do, but
Right.
not like you have to
You
go through
do. Right.
construction.
We do a lot of waiting. People don't realize that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'm always saying to everybody that I think it's important for design firms. We all want those big projects, but you need those little projects too. Just payroll and to keep your mind
Absolutely.
firing on
Yeah.
soft things. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
what is your dream project? I know you wrote it, but I don't remember what it was. What did you answer?
I would love to. I would love to do a little boutique hotel.
Okay, so same for
Um,
me and same for a lot of people who have been on
yeah.
52. And I think we should get in touch with the hotel group and pitch like almost like a show house, a bunch of designers and have every room be different, kind of like La Russie in Rome.
Yeah.
Have a really
I
cool
like it.
boutique hotel where each one of us has done a different room and you can have a different fantasy in each room.
Yeah. I just to me like staying in a hotel is such a fun.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be before I had
Yeah.
children,
Well, I
but
mean, what isn't great about an $8 can of Pringles?
yeah, exactly. Totally. Absolutely. But it's like, you're on vacation, you just want to be pampered. And, what a nice opportunity to sort of design a hotel.
Yeah.
I think the work we do sort of lends itself to that idea too. And we design a lot of custom furniture, so that could be fun to integrate some of that in there, but we'll see.
What's your favorite hotel? You can have more than
Oh my God. I don't know if I have a favorite. The last few years, I've taken the kids to Shutters in Santa
one. Uh-huh.
Monica, And it's what I love about it is it's unpretentious, it's quiet, and but it feels very personal. You can kind of hide there and nobody talks to you, but you can also find some nice people there, and the kids love it. It's very comfortable there. We go there a couple times a year.
Why California?
My husband has work out there, and we have some friends that we go visit.
Because in my mind, going left with the kids is a nightmare because then they wake up.
Yeah,
That's the bad kind of jet lag. If you go to the
yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
they'll
We
fall
took
asleep.
we took the kids to London last year, and it was great. I was ready for a really challenging plane ride. We took the red eye, and they were
Well,
awesome.
aren't they all red eyes? I
Yeah,
mean, like, yeah. I've never taken the day flight to London.
they were great. We had a really great time, and it wasn't really an issue.
And what hotel did you stay at there?
We stayed at this really interesting little boutique hotel called the Laslet, Laslett. It's part of a group of hotels that are geared to families,
Uh-huh.
and it
Oh,
was really
that's
cute,
good
really
to know.
well designed. We had kind of a little suite. The kids had their own room. We had our own room. It was also like really, not luxurious, but really nice, and I would definitely recommend it to stay there again. It was perfect for our needs. Things are different when you have kids.
Totally. Do you when you take trips with the kids, does it help with your design work? Because I feel like it has with mine. Like I just the very fact that when I pack for my kids, I have to pack those collapsible hampers makes
Right,
me think differently when I'm designing rooms for kids. Like all of the things that I need to bring with me when I go places, those are the essentials that maybe I don't think about hampers when I'm working on a floor plan, but
right,
now I do.
right. I think just having children made me think differently about design. And I think clients are really surprised to hear that I have children at first. I think they think we all live these very glamorous lives. Like we're all shopping in Paris all day and,
All day.
just flipping through fabric wings and designing things. And, that's not really the case. I would say, maybe 10% of the time is spent, doing something creative. But,
And not in
we,
Paris for sure.
and definitely not in Paris. I'm on East 58th Street. um,
Are you on East
anyway,
58th right now?
I am.
So we can probably like wave to each other. I am a block away
You
from
should
you.
you should just come over. Just bring over one of your spit
No, we're
guards.
being vigilant. We're being good citizens.
Okay, good. No, but I do think it's funny how, you know, clients are relieved to know that I have children, and when I talk about, durability and
Yeah.
child friendliness, and they breathe a little bit.
So I've got so many questions now. So
Uh-oh.
how do you raise your kids? Like, what's your philosophy about raising your own children around beautiful things?
Good question. This is a challenge. I grew up in a house where like you couldn't walk into the living room unless you were sitting down to practice the piano.
Mm.
Okay? And that didn't work for
Yeah.
me as a kid. I thought that was unacceptable. Um,
Unacceptable.
unacceptable. So, we have a nice house and we have nice things. And, I want the kids to appreciate and respect, that we worked hard for this stuff, and that I want them to appreciate it. I want them to take care of it, you
Yeah.
know. But at the same time, our house is not a place that they can't run around.
Mhm.
It's not. There are not velvet ropes, and don't touch this.
Right.
So we live pretty hard there, but we clean up after ourselves, and we try, but it's changed. The library is now the Lego room, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a little
I
different.
love that you have a library. I so when I first had the kids and they were all within 20 months of each other. We put a fence, I kid you not, around our living room and then took everything out of it because we had stairs in the house and
Yeah,
three of them and only one um,
right.
nanny. And I mean, she needed to be able to leave the room and know they weren't going to fall down the stairs and break their head. But, certainly I wasn't raised that way. I mean, we had
Yeah.
furniture and my parents would have shot me in the, I mean, actually, I once did bump into a mirrored screen and it crashed and I got it. But we all learned how to do that. I
Yeah.
find
I
it,
mean,
I can't remember how they figured that out.
yeah. I mean, we didn't do any really specific child-proofing. I don't have, you know, those rubber things that you put on the corner of coffee tables,
Ugh,
and I didn't do any of that stuff. I mean, I didn't grow up like that, and
yeah,
I wasn't sticking knives in electrical outlets,
yeah.
and I'm crazy, but I'm not really that crazy. But
I've tried both sides, I guess. I tried to like keep them away from everything, and then I realized my quality of life was suffering,
right,
and that
right,
it'd be weird if they had a decorator as a parent and didn't know how to sit in a sofa.
right. I mean, we did obvious things like if there were accessories out on a cocktail table that were expensive, I put them on the mantle instead.
Sure.
It wasn't a suicide mission.
Yeah. Um, do your kids like the style in which you work? Because mine have all, kind of like you and your mother, mine love our house. They love it, but they want modern.
I don't think my kids are old enough yet. I think they'll see me on Instagram, and my daughter will say, "Oh, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that." My younger son doesn't have any interest in anything but bugs right now. And my older son, for him, it's more about cool stuff. Like I remember we did a show house in the Hamptons, and Steven Stolman did the powder
Sure.
room, and he had pink toilet paper. And Owen, my older son, he just thought it was the greatest thing ever.
It's
He was
so
like, "Daddy,
bizarre.
look,
What interests
pink
them?
toilet paper."
Yeah. I sometimes, what does your husband do for a living?
He is a mortgage bond salesman.
Okay, perfect set.
Fun.
So my husband is in finance. What he does, I'm not sure. But I once took him to a client's house and I was super proud of it. And I walked him in and I was like, what do you think? And he said, great view.
I think we married a similar story. Tom, my husband Tom is, before we met, he had absolutely no experience with anything like
Mhm.
this. And, I was almost embarrassed to sort of tell him what things cost and what exactly we did. And I still to this day would never tell my mother or father-in-law what, you
Right.
know, the mirror over my mantle in the
Well, why
Hamptons
would you?
cost.
That's none of their business.
No, but like, they would absolutely freak
Yeah.
out. But he's come to appreciate it. I think, it's like everyone else. It's like, you grow up with a certain, with a certain exposure to things, and our experience kind of informs our taste level, or just our taste, or what we like and what we don't like. And so he's like the rest of us, he's evolving.
Yeah. I on my honeymoon with Pavlos 20 years ago, um, we would go, we were all over Europe and we were going to churches. And I was like, okay, Pavlos, what do we call this? He's like, the nave. He's like, what do we
Right,
call this? He's like, uh,
right,
radiating chapels.
right. Yeah. No, I think Tom enjoys it. He likes architecture. He does, when we are in Europe, he does appreciate when I'm talking about that kind of stuff. He gets a kick out of it.
Hell yeah. Um, so, so what's your favorite place to go to with him and the family, or just with him, in terms of like historical, beautiful design?
Yeah.
Is it
Um,
Paris again?
I mean, Paris is pretty great. But if I had to, where have I been most in my life? I would say Italy. Italy is sort of my favorite place, and it's not so much about obviously the history there is tremendous, but I love Tuscany, and I was very lucky. My parents really loved Italy and spent a lot of time there. So starting when I was really in college, they spent quite a bit of time there. So I got to spend some time there and just really fell in love with the country. And that's a place where I could see myself spending time too.
Now, if you had a house in Tuscany, how would it be decorated?
Oh man, just super, super relaxed. Just
And
like
would it be like a very historic architecture that you would look for, or?
I, I mean, I would do something very, I would love
Yeah,
something
Philip Persad
small.
just said food doesn't suck either. No,
What he said?
he
What?
said the food doesn't suck either.
Oh yeah, the food. Yeah, well,
The food does not
that's
suck.
part of that's my biggest problem. Something rustic and like a little villa. That sounds big, but a teeny little villa, a place I can invite friends to stay for a week, and I'd be there for the summer, and we'd be cooking, we'd have a big garden, and for me, it's more about the experience.
That's a terrible thing for a decorator to say, but okay.
I mean, it would be beautiful, like modern, minimal,
Yeah,
Tuscan, rustic,
as long as you have the
plaster
architecture, you would go
walls,
minimal, right?
perfectly falling apart.
Yeah. Somebody, I know this isn't annoying. Describe your design style.
See for a second.
Somebody wants you to describe your design style, which I know is an impossible thing to answer.
Oh,
But you
the
did
worst
answer for
question.
52. I think you said layered, personal,
Yeah, I mean, I think
but
I,
give us
I,
more.
yeah, I mean, I like to think that, I don't, like I said, I don't really pigeonhole myself. I like to think our work has a modernist um, angle to it. I think it's eclectic. I don't really play by rules. Um, I hope there's a level of sophistication there
Mm-hmm.
um, throughout the work. I'm attracted to, sculptural furniture, things that are, to me, every piece needs to be a piece of art,
Yeah,
you know.
not a bad
Um,
theory.
but I think the work is timeless, and I hope the work is timeless, and I hope it's livable too.
Um, are you colorful?
It's interesting. I do love color, and I think people think of us as we do a lot of color, but I tend to like, personally, I tend to like slightly more, grayer versions of every color. Some colors I really respond to, blues and greens, and um, I like all colors, but I have more difficult with reds and yellows, more difficulty. It's just not
Yellow
not
is
as
really
easy.
tough.
Yeah, yellow's hard for me, but I'm up for anything. We're doing a yellow kitchen right now in the North Fork. It's pretty awesome.
But yeah, kitchen is like a perfect, cheerful, happy kitchen
Yeah,
color. Also,
yeah,
it also looks good with food.
it does. But
I have a green dining room, and I felt like I needed it to be green because it was a food color.
yeah,
And I
oh,
don't
that's good. Yeah,
love blue dining room. Actually, that's a lot. I do
yeah.
love blue dining rooms, but like green or yellow, like
hmm
food colors are good for food spaces.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know about your clients, but so many of our clients are afraid of color.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just, hey, if someone comes in and they say, we love color, I'm like, great, let's attack it. Um, and if someone says they don't like color, then we don't.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like for so many years people were saying it's color coming back, it's color coming back, and oh yeah, it's back.
Big time,
It's
big time.
back. Though I'm concerned that after the pandemic, um, people might stay with color, but I worry that they might declutter.
Yeah.
And I like a good amount of clutter. Do you recommend that your clients collect, or do you create their collections for them?
I mean, it depends. It's always, I mean, it's always nice when a client does have a collection. I mean, depending on what that collection is,
As
right?
long as it's
Obviously.
not glass animal figurines.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Um, my mother was a collector. I collect ceramics. Love mid 20th century ceramics, and I think that's what makes things personal, right? I mean, it's always a challenge when clients have things that you're not particularly fond of. I'm saying that politely. That's always a challenge. But when the client does have a collection of things, it could be artwork, it could be, you know, their grandma's china, it could be anything. That's what makes it personal. And then, when you finish their homes, they feel like they're home, rather than
Right, right.
they just walked into a
Exactly.
showroom of some sort. Yeah. I
Somebody,
think I would say that's the biggest challenge, I would say, in our job. Everything shows up for the install. Yes, there are antiques and vintage pieces, but it's all placed perfectly. It's styled perfectly. Everything looks brand spanking new. How do we, the challenge is to make it feel like
yeah,
home,
to give it a soul.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody is asking, Carrie Moore, interior design, she's liking all that shelving behind you and wants to know how
Oh.
you organize your materials.
It's by color and by type. So we'll have like red solids, red geometrics, red patterns.
How frequently
Then,
do you refresh your library, your materials?
um, not enough. But when I'm starting to specify things and my team is like, Gideon, everything is discontinued, then it's time to like do an overhaul. At the end of every year, I try and go through all these bins and just, if I've seen something for so many years or if I've used it, it's out.
Yeah, we retire things that we've just used, unless it's like a solid
Yeah,
beige. We're not
exactly.
going to retire that. But
Right.
um, sorry, I'm reading. I'm like like reading, talking. Um, so we never keep a library, right? I mean, we've got stuff, but it's usually like, we go and get it. So now we're really going to have to develop our library. And I think it's
Yeah.
really interesting to hear how you organize, because I'm going to need to find a new organization. We used to just like, they'd be piled and then we'd return them. Now
Right.
we've really got to like, and we have to call those essential fabric houses, and I won't name them because everyone's got a different essential, but you definitely need like all of the wool satines, and I'll need all the
Yes.
linens, and like we'll need all of that
Yes.
very basic stuff, and then
Hmm.
maybe we can shop for pattern online, because we can, as long as they show us the scale. I was saying to somebody in my office, or they were saying to me that um, if they go to the D&D building, they think they should have the people in the showrooms, move the racks for them.
Yes. Yes.
Because
I don't know.
when
It's
we
tough.
look
You got to touch
online,
everything.
you can't see the scale. You can't.
Yeah. No.
It's not as easy online yet as people think it
Right.
is.
Yeah. I agree. I still like to touch everything myself and go. I still go to the D&D periodically. I don't, I feel like there's sleepy gas in there. You know, like I remember going to London with my mother, and we're in Harrods, and I'm like 8. I should be totally afraid to be by myself, and I'm jet lagged. We just get there, and I'm sitting on a bench, and I'm like, no, Mom, you go. I'm gonna just sit
Yeah.
here. You go shop. I'll just sit on this bench.
Uh,
Um,
every child of mine, when we hit a museum, they
yeah,
do an immediate bench count.
yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I like to keep a big library.
I think we're
Um,
all going to have
I
to do that. I think that's
Yeah,
next up.
I like the fabric houses to come here and show us their new collections when they do. I know a lot of designers are always like, we can't have these
Yeah, we
appointments.
usually don't like that at all, but we're going to have to.
Yeah, I like that because then I like the relationship, and I want my designers to have the relationships with those salespeople, and we obviously stick to the houses that we buy from and the ones whose sensibility
Right, best.
works for what we're doing. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be
Yeah.
really interesting to see how we're going to have to shift our practices. It sounds
Adjust.
like you're in a pretty good You're in a pretty good groove, but do people sit side by side by side?
Do people what?
Or does everybody sit side by side?
In my
Yeah.
office?
Are you sitting in the library of your office or?
I'm in our scheming room. There's a desk here for interns. I'm sitting at the interns desk. Um, I mean, we have a very open plan. We have two designers here, two people here, two people here. So they're kind of in an open space. It's totally open. I mean, I'll show you.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of a
Ever since you
wait,
turned
that's
off
me.
that Wi-Fi, things
Hold
really
on.
work.
So there's
Yeah. So
a
you're
couple
gonna
people
have to
over
get those
there.
acrylic shields I just got
Yeah, I guess so.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we said we weren't going to name check fabric houses, people want to know some fabric houses. So give us some of your favorite fabric houses.
Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Well, just not all of them. Give us three
Right.
that come to mind just now,
Three.
which is not to say.
I mean, you were mentioning a wool sateen. I mean, Holland and Sherry
I
has
knew you were going
the
to say Holland and Terry.
Holland and Sherry has the best wool sateens and flannels. I would say their melange wool flannel is the fabric my go-to for curtains when we need a solid. They just drape perfectly. I like curtains to really.
Philip Bershad would like to know, what about wall coverings?
Well, he knows the answer to
Yeah,
that.
Philip Jeffries is everybody's, on everybody's short list. I'm
Yeah.
down, Philip.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows. They know I love them, and they're so good to me. But fabric houses that I really like. Gosh, it depends on what you're
just
looking.
said that Clarence House has the best mohair. I'm gonna put something out there. I'm gonna admit to the world that I don't like mohair.
I don't love mohair either.
I find
It causes problems.
and
Hairy?
like.
Yeah, it's hairy.
It's spiky and it's like sweat inducing and it feels all wrong.
I feel like it looks good for a short period of time, and then again, it depends. A cotton mohair can be okay, but it gets messy and I don't know, hot. It's always hot. I'm a big boy. I get hot.
I am hot enough. Like I don't need
exactly
any extra heat factors.
In my office, they joke that I'm going through menopause.
Oh yeah, menopause.
Menopause we call it, but menopause works too.
Menopause works too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened. Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 45.
Dude, I'm older than you.
What's funny is my face looks so red on the screen, and my beard doesn't look as gray as it really is.
You look great.
I'm very happy about this.
I meanwhile look like I've camouflaged myself as myself.
Oh my god! All I want,
put on my
I just want
colored hair.
All I want is a haircut. I cut my own kids' hair.
Yeah, of course.
I cut their hair. They look ridiculous.
Going long, but the other one I've had to cut. But it's good because it's got very wavy hair, so nobody can kind of tell.
You can't tell.
It absorbs off cuts.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you pictures of my kids. It's awful. They look terrible.
Check Eye James thinks you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
As do I. So, tell me what's up in the next year. What do you want to do this year? And it can, it cannot happen because we don't know what's going to happen. But
yeah, I mean, I want to recover from this pandemic.
Of course.
I want my kids to go back to school. I want to regain my sanity.
God, you're very greedy. I'm here.
Okay. What do I want? I think work-wise, God, I don't know if we're going to be getting back into the office until after the summer. So there's not going to be a lot of the year left. I kind of want to just recover and get back into a groove and, make sure the team is settled and my clients are comfortable moving forward. I want to get those projects moving.
How much of your projects are travel related?
Travel?
Yeah. Like, are you
most
local?
of it, yeah. I mean, I try to keep most of it in Manhattan because I feel like it's just better for the business. We're working we do a lot in Westchester. We do a lot in the Hamptons. Um, but it's all over. It depends. I try not to work out of the tri-state area. I will. I have, but I
Travel
feel like
for pay.
from a bottom line standpoint, it behooves us all to work in locally.
Yeah, that's gonna be my biggest change, I think. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I hope I will still also travel for work, but I bet that's gonna be driven by clients that they will want the person near them. I think.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I also think beautiful renderings are going to become more
Mm,
important
mm,
to
that's good.
to convey, because then you don't have to be in proximity. You can
Right,
just show.
right, right. All right, there's another line item we got to worry about.
Okay, so Kathy Sawyers wants to know how many people we each have. Gideon has 6 and I have 10. Um, and who do you recommend as a designer in Dallas? Well, of course, me. You should be hiring me.
Hello.
Like this will end. Yeah, the travel thing. I haven't in my adult life. I've never gone this long without being on an airplane.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's true for everybody, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. We missed two. I missed two trips to California. I missed two trips to California because of this. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to making them up.
Um, will well, no, I already asked you that. Um, I just want to. Sorry, I'm looking for questions for you in particular. Though I do want you to know that Enrique 1030 thinks your hair is fine.
Oh God,
Um,
thank you, Enrique.
are you going to be able to do Kip's Basin for us? I mean, obviously we've had to put
Uh,
off this year so
yes,
far.
yes. I mean, the truth is that I really like doing show houses. It's an opportunity for us to kind of flex our muscles as designers. They're good causes.
Mm.
It's fun. It's fun. I think that
It's
I like
community. Go ahead.
exactly. I like the intensity of it. I like a deadline. It's fun for my team. I do enjoy the camaraderie and spending time with other designers. You know, but in all honesty, at this stage of my career, um, it's got to be the timing has to be just right. It's expensive to do show houses, and things have really changed in our industry over the past, you know, 3 or 4 years. I mean, I don't know about you, but Instagram has really changed the environment for us in terms
You
of
mean reach?
generating leads. What'd you say?
You mean reach?
Yeah, and just generating leads and where our business is coming from. It used to be, for the first 10 years of my career, I had no interest in getting published. My business was growing slowly. It was all word of mouth, and things kind of
How
changed.
elegant of you. I
Elegant?
was born with the sandwich board on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well. And anyway, the funny thing is, it was Jamie Drake who we have mutual friends, and he came out to my house in the Hamptons. It's a funny story. He came over, and I was like, this was in 2000, maybe 2010, and I was all nervous to meet him, and he was so funny, and he was like, "Hey, can I take a nap on your porch?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I guess so, yeah."
Jamie
He
is one
literally
of
like
the nicest
yeah,
people in the world.
he's the best. So he came over, he shook my hand, and he fell asleep on my porch, and then he woke up and he's like, "Hey, I was like, you missed lunch." He's like, "Whatever." He's like, "Can I snoop around a little bit?" And I said, "I guess so." Okay, sure. He walked around the house. And he said, "People need to see your work." And I was like, "Really?" So he introduced me to my first publicist, and he pushed me to kind of get out there a little bit, and but now things are different. Now there's Instagram and
How often do you post?
twice a day,
Every day, twice a day.
every day, twice a day.
Okay.
Yesterday we posted 3 times because of this, because of you.
Because of me. I'm lucky number three.
Yeah,
Or I'm the third strike and you're out. Uh,
yeah. No, but I have a wonderful marketing director um, who really changed everything for us, and
In-house
she's
or
amazing.
out?
Out.
Oh, good. That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking who are your favorite contemporary artists.
Ooh. Um, I'm sort of obsessed with William Kentridge.
I don't know.
Um,
Where's my iPad?
I saw his work for the first time a long time ago, and a client of mine, we went to see a show of his, and he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, you want to go 50-50 on one of these pieces?" And it was like $50,000, and I was like, I don't have $25 thousand
You're like,
dollars
I'll
to
give
give you
you
right now.
50.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, how about $50? And he bought a piece himself, and it was one of the bigger mistakes I made.
Oh, South African. Um, well, yeah, well, um, I have discovered artists because of Instagram. And there's this
Definitely.
one artist who I've been following recently named Kenny Harris. And
Hmm.
I bought something of his. It's here. Actually, I have two of his paintings. And I almost don't want to, I want him to want to not be able to get his stuff. But more than that, I want him to live well and thrive. This guy is
Right.
amazing. He's like a Walter Gay for the present.
That's great.
He can make
It's so fun.
anything. It's kind of like when you hear somebody sing and they've just got such a great voice. He has just such a great hand.
Right. That's great. That's the great thing about
It's
Instagram. You find so many things.
Somebody else is saying check out Marina Adams as well. Oh, Sarah, who loves Kentridge, is saying check out Marina Adams.
Okay. I'm gonna write these things down. I don't know what pen here.
Okay. Um, I, I don't know about you. Instagram has completely changed their format recently. I don't know if you've noticed. So I don't know how long I've kept you on.
I don't know. I don't have my watch today. I left it in the Hamptons. What time is it? I don't know. I'm happy to talk to you.
I know I could just talk to you forever, but like I think at some point we should hang up the phone and call each other. Everyone's
It's been a pleasure.
so wait, I'm gonna give you one more question from somebody. And it
Okay.
was, thank you, Sarah. I will check out Marina Adams. It was, what is the first place you want to travel to when it's safe?
Um, want or will? I will travel to California, with the family, and I'm looking forward to that. Want? I'd like to go to Italy. It's been a while. I haven't been about 9 years.
In 9 years?
So
All right,
10 years. I haven't been to Italy in 10 years.
I'll go
I
with you.
think, yeah. Okay,
I'll go with
let's
you.
do
We
it.
take our kids. We should totally do like, to, I mean,
Family
they
design
play with
trip.
each other.
Yes.
Or at least they take care of each other, or at least my kids are less likely to kill your kids, but they're very likely to kill each other.
Are they likely to protect my children from killing each other?
I think if we intersperse them, it would be less
Okay.
likely to be a group massacre.
Right. Okay.
I
We
think
can
we can do.
bribe. We can bribe. Bribing is working a lot at home.
Say what?
Bribing is working a lot at home.
Oh,
If you behave like this, you will get to play on your iPad.
enjoy that. Enjoy that. My
Yeah.
kids are so stubborn; they respond to nothing now. Even when I
Oh my
take the
God.
iPad, they're like,
Whatever.
whatever. Ugh, whatever. My least favorite word. Well, on that note, speaking to you is in no way whatever. It has been amazing, and it's great to see you. And I really, really love to see what's behind you because I am going to have to reorder my office.
You can come over. You can check out how we do it. It works pretty well.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. And you should post that too, because we need some guidance.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Gideon. Happy 52 weeks. We're so honored to have you on it and to get to look at your beautiful work.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.